Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Pretend Football Now. My name is Syke Manders, and with me, as always, is Mal Padiros. Mal, what a contentious week this was.
Yeah, there was a lot of really close matchups that were right down to the absolute bitter end, and there were some complete and utter bushwhackings that left a lot of teams scratching their heads.
Yeah, most certainly a lot of squeakers, a couple of crashings, but yeah, all in all, definitely an exciting week of football. So I'm sure the suspense is killing you, so let's get on with the broadcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited to be joined once again by our first ever guest here on PSBN, the Funches. Mr. Funches, congratulations on a spectacular week of Pretend Football.
Good evening, all. I have just had lunch. As you know, I eat my breakfasts when the lovely sun she does set. I trust you contact me about the pints, eh? Did I score enough of them to be noticed by you again, eh?
Well, yes, in fact, the points are what has brought us together again. So, to what do you attribute your rousing success in Week 4?
When we last chatted, I told you the points, they come and they go. But now the Funches has shown he is a passionate man, the most passionate man in Pretend Football. You say I am aroused? Would you like to see how aroused?
God, no. Remember, Mr. Funches, PFN is a PG-13, sometimes low R-rated program. Keep your passion where we can't see it. Right now, you had your best week ever, and yet we're not on anyone's roster heading into the week. What would you say to those teams that overlooked your brilliance thus far this season?
I was thinking about how aroused I am. I apologize to you all. Ever since the Funches sat on their benches, lorded over by the knuckle-dragging beast Swanson, only to be started in the most dire of circumstances, I must say, now they look. Now I must teach them to feel.
Oh, God, I think I'm going to be sick. I see there's no love lost between you and Coach Dan Swanson. Do you think that any potential future coaches will get the same effort from you that you gave to him?
The Funches will say only this. Make certain my locker room is at the end of a labyrinth, entered by only the most nubile of female training staffs that wear the yoga pantsies. Also, you may want to have a very good lawyer. I would like both of these things. Only then will the Funches return to the field.
Well, thank you, Mr. Funches, and good luck for the remainder of the season. Perhaps we will speak again soon.
Yes, the Funches will speak again. The forbidden language of desire.
You're welcome. Syke?
Hop along, little doggies. Rootin' tootin' Syke Manders is gonna gather all of you varmints around the fire to sing you a little song. It's a song about duty. It's a song about honor. About two men, the fate of the game hanging on their paddless shoulders. I am, of course, going to sing to you a song about all of them dang kickers. It was just noon when the hipsters rode into town. They come in a-riding from the West States, slowly looking all around. Led by merciless outlaws LeGarrette Blount, Wendell Smallwood, and notorious scalp hunter himself, Chief Gronk. The hipsters looked to number the notches on their pistol 1 and 3 wins more. 1 and 3 wins more. In the Fanatic Stadium, the Philly Rangers had similar big irons on their hips, led by Tin Stars Devonta Freeman and Mike Evans, and the deputies Trevor Simeon and Dez Bryant. The handsome lawmen turned the tables on the invading latte-sipping outlaws, and the score stood 64.5 to 64.5. Everybody held their breath. Everyone knew the hipsters were vicious, a den of killers. The time passed too quickly, and suddenly it was time for them to meet. Everybody closed their windows as they walked out on the street. Adam Vinatieri had not set leather before a Nike shoe fairly ripped, and Harrison Butker's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip. The big iron on his hip. Big iron, big iron. Excuse me. Anyway, the Fanatics triumphed with a final score of 72.5 to 68.5 for a closely contested but skillfully won victory. Next week, the Fanatics face off against the lip-smacking Flapjacks and the Pine Lake Park Tombstones. The Portland Hipsters look to return to their try-hard ways against the lethal evil rivals, the Lakers Dirigibles, and, of course, the all-on Dobbs Ferry Federalists.
Pre-10 football enthusiasts, sometimes there are matchups that excite, that bring you to your feet, roused with passionate applause. This week's steamrolling is absolutely not going to be confused with that. What the Jar Jar Trumps did in Hangar 1 is tantamount to what Psych is already calling the second Hindenburg disaster as they trounced the Blimp 100 to 64.5. Oh, the humanity. The dirigibles floated out onto the field, a gas-filled balloon ready to be ignited. Things seemed almost good when Jordan Howard started them off on Thursday with a respectable 13 points. Soon, that performance was added onto by Carson, the whore of Babylon Palmer's 18, and capped by Tyler Lockett's 10 on Monday night. Surely, Kid Wonder Sean Martin's Trumps couldn't live up to the thrashing that they were about to get put on by Coach Medeiros. Or could they? Turns out that was nothing but fake news. Bigly. Not only did they refuse to wilt under the pressure of Coach Medeiros' veteran moxie, but they thrived, dominating in every conceivable way. Trump top scorers Deshaun Watson, Alvin Kamara, and the Seattle Seahawks defense alone would have been enough to burst the Blimp's bubble. This week, the Jar Jar Trumps put up some really big numbers. Huge. They came to win, and win they did. The best winning. Winning so hard. Huge. Word on the street is that the visit to Puerto Rico and the really beautiful golf course there is what's up next for Coach Sean. And with all those great people. Really great. The best people. Love these people. Bigly. Next week, the Jar Jar Trumps battle defending champions Bricktop's Pig Farm and this year's top scoring team, the undefeated, hated, and despicable. They really should be waterboarded.
I think they should probably be waterboarded.
Like take out their families, right?
Yeah, probably take out their families there.
Well, those Catskill cleavers. The Blimps, however, have to somehow aim their rudderless flaming husk towards matchup with the Shartsville Gravy Legs. And of course, they play the Portland Hipsters.
Well, that was certainly quite a show. It's always an interesting time when we have the Funches here.
He is a riveting watch for sure.
So, with all that in mind and everything that's happened this week, let's get your word of the week.
Well, in honor of our very special guest, Devin Funches, the word of the week is passion.
Just earlier in the broadcast, I was in the bathroom, and Funches was in there, and he looked at me,
right?
Like looked at me,
like at you,
like at me. It's very uncomfortable.
like this conversation.
Well, from all of us here at PSBN, this has been Pretend Football.
What is this thing that's floating? Do you see it?
I see nothing.
There's like some type of web thing.
Is it a ghost?
It is.
Is it a ghost?
Patrick Swayze!
Patrick Swayze? Is that you, Patrick Swayze, old guy?